Alright, it's time to start studying English. Ready? Go. Wait a second. Studying English should be fun, right? So today, I want to talk about portmanteaus. What is a portmanteau? A portmanteau is when you take two words and blend them together to create a new word. This also creates a new combined meaning for the word. So, for example, brunch. Brunch is a fairly well-known portmanteau. What two words make up the word brunch? Aha! Breakfast and lunch. Here, we're taking the beginning of breakfast and blending it with the end of lunch to create a new combined meaning of brunch. How about some Korean portmanteaus? I want you to pause the video now and think up a few portmanteaus in Korean. Good. Here are a few Korean portmanteaus that I came up with. Now, please note that these are parts of words that blend together to make new meanings for the word, which is different than a compound word. How is a compound word different than a portmanteau? Well, a portmanteau usually takes parts of words and blends them together to make a new word, whereas compound words take two full words and put them together to make a new word. Let's look at an example. Seahorse. We can make a compound word by putting them together and making seahorse. Now, a seahorse is a fairly well-known sea creature. But if we try to make a portmanteau out of it, we blend the two words together into something that is like shorse. We're still taking sea and horse, but here we're blending them together to create a new meaning, which might look something like this. Part horse and part sea creature. Now, some portmanteaus are easy. For example, this one, spork. Pretty simple. Look at it and you can probably tell that spork is a combination of a spoon and a fork. We blend the beginning of spoon with the end of fork and get spork. Let's try another one. Croissantwich. Which two words make up croissantwich? Croissant and sandwich. It's basically a sandwich that uses a croissant instead of bread. We're taking both parts of both of these words and blending them together. Let's try one more. Guesstimate. Now, figuring out which two words make up guesstimate is relatively easy. Guess and estimate. We blend the beginning of guess with the end of estimate to make guesstimate. Now, the meaning is a little more difficult, so let's try an example. If I were to ask you, how much did I weigh in college? You would have no idea. You don't know what I look like, you don't know who I am, you don't know what I was like in college, so you have to take a blind guess. But if I were to give you some extra information, let's say some pictures of me from my college days, now you can make a better guess at how much I weighed in college, or you can make a guesstimate. The answer to this question, by the way, is way too much. Now, here are three more portmanteaus. Please pause the video now, and I want you to try and figure out which words blend together to make each one. Okay, you can see that portmanteaus are everywhere. They can be in anything as common as a name, like Brangelina, which blends together Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It can also blend together two common words, like that make infomercial. The two words here are information, and commercial. Portmanteaus can even be found in common brand names that you're probably familiar with. For example, Microsoft is a portmanteau of microcomputer and software. Now, other ones are slightly harder. For example, frenemy. Here, friend and enemy combined that make up several meanings, which makes it slightly harder. It can mean someone that you pretend to be a friend with, but actually dislike. Or it can also mean someone that is your friend that you also compete against. Say, a friend that you play in tennis. Both are considered to be a frenemy. Or something like this. Joygasm. Joygasm is not actually the happiness you feel after a sexual encounter, but rather it is the immense joy you feel from an activity or an event. Another one is craptacular. The two words here are crap and spectacular. These blend together to create a new meaning that is something that is incredibly bad. It is so bad that it is actually a bit of a spectacle, thus creating craptacular. Well done. Now that you know what portmanteau is, you can try and see it in everyday conversation. And in actuality, portmanteauing is actually quite commonplace in casual conversations. So, I want you to take a look at the next few videos and see if you can find the portmanteaus in each video.
Don't want to keep Tony waiting.
Hey, you got a problem with Tony?
Hunky. Tony. Hey.
Okay. Jerry, I would be going out with him no matter what he looked like.
Of course you would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like you're one to talk?
Elaine!
What?
It's different for a man. We're expected to be superficial.
We're not being superficial.
Elaine, he's a male bimbo. He's a mimbo.
He's not a mimbo. He's an exciting, charismatic man who just happens to have a...
Looking good, Leonard. Stroke or Tai Chi? Tai Chi. Keep it up. And keep up whatever it is you're doing, Garrett.
It's called chillaxing.
Duh!
I love you on that couch.
Nick?
Wayne, did you know that Noah does all his own commercials?
Yeah, I got a new one where I rap. Come bust a move where the games are played. It's chill, it's fresh, it's Noah's Arcade. What do you think of that?
I'd have to say, a sphincter says what?
What?
A sphincter says what?
What?
Exactly.
Oh, we've got a lunch.
Which portmanteaus did you hear? If you would like to know, please look into the comments below where I will have them each written and broken down into what words they came from. Now, you are a portmanteau expert. You can make them on your own. It's quite fun. I do this all the time. I do it in English. For example, you can take hug and snuggles, you can blend them together and make huggles. You can even do it in Korean. You can take makgeolli and pajeon, blend them together and make a new portmanteau of jeongori. Well, now you are officially a portmanteau expert. Go out, have fun with it, and make up some more portmanteaus on your own.